Well, here is one of these very, very rare times that I can actually show you something that is what it is. Except they always put the spin on it, right? Always. So watch. QAnon shows up at another press Trump rally. QAnon is not showing up at anywhere. It's a fucking Latin word. Watch.
Or it's difficult to believe, to put it mildly.
Look, Anderson Cooper 360. The 360 is what? The 360 is what? It's a cycle. But what do you have within cycle? You have degrees within a cycle, right? So you have 360 degrees. So the circle, right, or the cycle, the circle is the ring, right, which is the asshole, which binds them all, right? Johnny Cash, remember him? The ring of fire. The ring of fire is your asshole. It's getting split, and it does that to your head. That's the ring of fire. That's what that 360 is. They're all in the big fucking butt, the fucking butt pirate club. So anyway, let's look here. So here, let's watch and see.
It's no longer an isolated thing. Take a look. The sign with a Q on it stands for QAnon. This video is from the presidential rally in Tampa 2 nights ago. Last night on the broadcast, we focused more closely on what the group believes in and their views from the fringes of American political thought. Tonight, we wanted to give them a chance to have their say, but because so much has been written about their reluctance to talk, we weren't sure what we would get when we sent Gary Tuchman to tonight's Trump rally. Gary joins us now. So what happened?
Well, Anderson, the rally just ended a short time ago. People are now streaming out. Many of these people arriving earlier this morning, waiting in line. And like they said, yeah, we wanted to see if the people who follow this movement wanted to talk to us, and we found that they did want to talk to us, and what they told us was quite interesting. Waiting in line in a driving rain, very motivated Trump supporters, wanting to see the president in person in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
We are Q.
Some of those people...
There's no such thing as URQ, you idiot. It's not a person.
Wearing and holding the 17th letter of the alphabet.
If that's a clue. That's another clue to what's going on with this. But I'll tell you what this word is.
Are you holding a big red, white, and blue Q? Why do you have that?
It's a movement, man. It's the shift. I can feel it coming. Some call it the Great Awakening.
You're wearing a shirt that says Q, WWG1WGA. What does that mean?
It means where we go one, we go all.
QAnon is the people that believe in what Trump's trying to do to change our country.
That is a generalization. More specifically, what QAnon is a fringe movement in which many baseless
It's a fringe movement?
conspiracy theories are discussed on the internet, organized around the idea of an anonymous but well-connected person or persons nicknamed Q. Your shirt says the storm is here, QAnon. What does that mean to you?
Well, I've been following all the posts since October 28th.
On the internet, from QAnon.
Right, started on
The person or
4chan.
people who say they're Q.
Right.
What do you think Q is, by the way?
It's an entity of 10 or less people
Okay,
that
what-
have
involved with the government?
high clearance, security clearance.
And how do you know that?
Well, I'm just telling you, this is what it appears to be.
What it appears to be. So you don't have any
Yeah.
proof of that. That's what you're guessing it
And
is.
you don't have any proof there isn't.
We've all been gathering
She's doing the finger thing. I get all of that.
online and talking together as Americans and uniting and
Do you think it's maybe just it makes you comfortable talking with other frustrated, sometimes
Yes,
angry people?
yes.
But maybe it's not true because there's no evidence of it. It's just stuff being talked about on the internet, right?
there hasn't been any non-evidence yet.
A major mantra among QAnon followers? The press is the enemy.
You guys are...
So you don't believe in the First Amendment?
Oh, I totally believe in the First
Well, you don't. You just said the press is
Well,
the
you
enemy.
guys are weaponized. You guys are totally weaponized by the CIA.
What is that?
You guys are weaponized
By the CIA.
by the CIA.
I don't know anybody in the CIA except a couple of people I've interviewed over the years.
Okay.
But weaponized, what does it even mean? Like you say stuff that doesn't even mean anything.
The
Weaponized
term
by the CIA.
conspiracy theorist, the
Do
term...
you think I'm weaponized by the CIA?
Maybe not to your knowledge. That's unfortunate.
You're run by the fucking Jews. The CIA is run by the Jews. Are you fucking kidding me? It's all Masonic Hebrew bullshit.
You believe there is a deep state.
Yes.
And what do you think that deep state's doing? You think they're running this country?
I think they were, and they're petrified now
And do you
because
think-
they're losing their control.
But Donald Trump's the president. He's running the country, right?
Yeah, but he's having to fight against the
I mean, he
deep
said
state.
he could do it all himself. Everything would be so easy when he came into office. And you think he's fighting with the deep state a year and a half into his term?
I think he's been fighting since before he was elected.
And who is in this deep state? Who are the people in it?
Oh, I definitely believe that, like, the Clintons, the Bushes, the Obamas.
So you think the Clintons, the Bushes, and the Obamas are...
Jesus, I wish people just get educated and say it's the fucking Jews. Just say it. Don't let this guy run circles around you. It's the Jews, period. That's who the reptilians are. You know when they talk about this reptilian thing? Yeah, it's a part of your brain. That's the reptilian part of your brain. You can go look that up. But the reptilians that are being referred to are the Jews. And I'll prove that in a minute. But what this QAnon thing is this. Andrew Jackson, an early American president, gave a toast on the occasion of his receiving of an honorary doctorate at the Harvard University. The president responded to his listeners, E pluribus unum, my friends, sin qanon. I think it's French. Qanon refers to the assurance that relief aid will go to the civilian population and not be diverted toward the benefit of the occupying power, which for once I can report that at least in the story form, is exactly what this dude is doing. The reason that Andrew Jackson was here is because Andrew Jackson was one of the only presidents, aside from Kennedy, that actually went in and tried to break up the Federal Reserve. So Kennedy tried it, this guy was the first guy to do it, and now he's trying to do it, supposedly. But this is one of the things that on a very in-your-face reality of some truth is exactly what it is. But they got everybody else believing that this QAnon is this crap. Okay? So they're being played even though they think they're doing right. That's why they're queuing in on this picture here instead of him. Alright? I found this and posted it over it. It wasn't shot like this with this explanation. All they did is they took out the U here and moved it together, right? Because this is what they do, right? And they say, oh, that's that group QAnon. No, it isn't. It's exactly what I just told you. Because isn't that guy's platform? Isn't that his platform? To give the money back to the people instead of the occupying power? In essence, Trump is the Antichrist. In the essence that the word Christ means Christos, and that it has to do with the whole blessing and the semen and all that, but it has to do with the power. So the Antichristo, or the Antichrist, is the anti-power, which is exactly what he's doing. He's diverting the energy, or the money, away from the occupying power. You got to remember, who's writing the Bible? Is that coming from the good guys, or is it coming from the bad guys? The Bible, it tells you in it that you must read it with discernment. In other words, you need to figure out who's talking here, because we're not going to tell you. Okay? So Revelations could be being written from an angle of the bad guy, not the good guy. You get it? So for once, I can actually do a video where there's truth being told, but the fucking people that are trying to uphold it think it's some secret guy running around in the shadows. It ain't. Now, this reptilian thing. They accused David Icke of this a long time ago, and he denied it. Because he's a fucking punk bitch. Let me show you something here. So, from the movie Borat, the running of the Jews, which is making fun of in Spain, it's the running of the bulls, but it's the running of the Jew. And let's watch. Okay, but the thing is that the reptilian part is that reptiles lay eggs. They're not chickens. The reptiles. Remember the bit I showed you with the archons? Right? That's all of that together. David Icke, when they pressed him, because he was accused of saying that the Jews were the reptiles. They are. They are part of that thing, man. The three-fingered thing, that's them. That's the claw. That's why that one guy that I was arguing with, he said, no, that's an owl. I said, no, it's not. It's a T-Rex. That's why I said it's a dinosaur, because it's the three claws. And he said, no, it's an owl. That's why, to me, it doesn't make any difference. If we're both working towards exposing this, I don't give a fuck what animal it is. The Jews are the reptilians. Right? They're the reptilians. That's who the Jews are. These fake fucks, whatever they are. Okay? He threw in the chick part because they always do this. They'll throw in some truth and then they throw in something to throw you off of that. But QAnon, let's see what the 17th letter is, shall we? So if we look, it kind of works out to the same thing. Gematria, the study of numbers meaning here. Here's the meaning of the number 17. Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet. In the Bible, the number 17 symbolizes overcoming the enemy and complete victory. So when you go back to them holding up the Q, is not diverting the money away from the establishment and into the hands of the people complete victory, right? Because wasn't that always the game, is to break us and get us broke? But Donald Trump what is he doing? He's diverting the money, right? Back to the people. The money is currency. The currency is power. He's the anti-power. He's the anti-Christos, right? Jesus Christ. Christ is not his last name. Do you understand? This works out exactly to the video that I'm just doing right now, where I'm showing you that, like Andrew Jackson, he was trying to take the money away from the fucking Jews and give it back to the people. That's why he's the Antichrist. So it works out to the same thing. Okay? Regardless, see, you got to remember something. You have to remember this. A lot of times when they're talking about God in the Bible, the Jews are talking about themselves. This is why the Bible still exists. Because the Jews are calling themselves God. They're the Lord God. Do you understand? They're not going to destroy a document that upholds them as the Lord God. Right? So, think about a guy that comes along to take away the power from them and give it to the Gentile. That would be the Antichrist, right? Right? When they say the Lord God, they're talking about themselves. That's the thing that people don't get. You're assuming that it's somebody else. It's not. They're calling themselves God and the devil here. So if they're calling themselves God and the devil, then they're the Lord God that's being written about in the Bible. They're the ones that started the whole duality thing, right? They're the perpetrators of it. And look at the way things work. Everybody at each other's throat all the time, while they sit back and reap the rewards of that action. Fucking idiots.